The 6th of October is a very historical day for me. It's a historical day for a member of SADTU. It's historical for the people of South Africa. Nelson Mandela, our first democratically elected president, said when we launched SADTU in 1990 that SADTU is the beacon of hope.
Welcome to SADTU Online Television. I'm your host, Nomusa Cembi. In our studio today, we have a member in good standing from TLADI TVET College. His name is Comrade Boni TLADI. Welcome to SADTU Online Television.
Welcome, Nomusa.
Boni, can you tell us briefly about yourself? How come you are a lecturer in this place? Just give us an overview of your journey into this profession.
I'm born and bred in Limpopo province in a village called Nshabele in the Sekhukhune land. After I completed my matric, actually I wanted to become a lawyer, but by fate.
And the movement of TVET colleges from councils to higher education, what effect did that have as lecturers in TVET colleges?
I will appreciate SADTU for its role during that migration period, because SADTU participated in the processes of migrating the colleges from the councils to the DHET. They ensured that none of the teaching staff lost his job because of the migration and the requirements of the DHET. And when we migrated in 2015, the challenge that we had experienced mostly as the labor, especially with SADTU members, some SADTU members, their membership elapsed because there was no good transition of their membership from councils to the DHET. It affected their membership, also it affected their affiliation of South Africa and the rest. But some managed to reapply and were brought back to SADTU. But some of us, our membership were not interrupted.
You mentioned the migration and SADTU's role in the migration. One can interpret that as one of the perhaps positives in one being a SADTU member. What are other positives? What are other issues that you know of that benefited you as a person in the TVET sector and the TVET sector in general?
The benefit for us as TVET was that SADTU protected our employment, because the notion was that the TVET college is for the lecturers. And then I understand that a lecturer, a minimum lecturer at the university, is somebody with a master's degree. And number of the lecturers with those titles then, some didn't even have a diploma, national diploma. And that's the result, they don't qualify to become a lecturer or even a teacher. Just a minimum of RQB 13. Some didn't have even RQB 13 because they had some scarce cases, especially in the engineering department, where there was a need of engineering lecturers. Some only had the N6 without trade, so they need to do the postgraduate certificate to qualify as RPG, RQB 13 or RQB 14. So SADTU ensure that they are all protected, and those lecturers begin opportunities to study for postgraduate diploma with other universities so that they get RQB 13 or RQB 14. And then there were other lecturers who had special skills like plumbing and then or welding. Those were the rare skills. And some had only grade 12 with their previous skill, but they were retained to continue doing the services. And SADTU calculated and found that number of teachers and their members were not at that level of RQB 14. They didn't even have degrees, and as a result, they can't qualify to become lecturers. So the negotiations that were settled between SADTU and the DHET, that to cater all those lecturers in their qualification and be given an opportunity of reskilling, I think has worked positive for us. And also the issue of the restructuring of posts, also aligned to that of basic education, also has worked for us. And then they protected the workers. None of the workers lost the job because of the migration. And we have seen SADTU participating actively throughout the process to date.
I'm sure there are challenges, there were challenges with SADTU working in the TVET sector.
I understand that SADTU is a labor movement. As lecturers, we are labor. And when we look at the issue of the numbers of the lecturing staff nationally, people, they thought of forming some new formation to represent TVET lecturers. the objective was not, it was only about lecturer, but it's not speaking to the political aspect of the country or world at large, but SADTU is speaking to that. To me, SADTU is correctly placed because SADTU, being a member of COSATU and member of SSCP and also member of ANC, is correctly, we get guidance from those other formations. Then the only challenge that we experience is the issue of bargaining. With SADTU in the Tibet also, another challenge that we need to have a structure, a Tibet structure under SADTU, where the issues pertaining to the Tibet colleges are better communicated by the people who are within the sector. Now currently what the current agreement that SADTU is doing, like myself, for the past two terms, I was sitting in the BEC and REC, but in this side I was only sitting in the BEC to cascade issues of SADTU. But the issues are better known by the people on the ground within the sector. So I think if SADTU can move to issue of launching branches of Tibet colleges and report to the better structure like REC or or at the provincial level. For now, it's not working. And people feel that no, SADTU is not servicing them. When coming to issue of recruitment and selection, that's another area where SADTU members feel no, they are not well represented. Because our colleges, especially our college, is only the REC members who are sitting, especially the regional secretary, not knowing the dynamics within. But people on the ground, we know what's happening within our sectors.
Going back to the issue of salaries, that you feel it is one issue that you think is still outstanding. So you still feel that TVET lecturers receive higher salaries than teachers in basic education.
The notion then was that we should be better paid off. Issue of better salaries for the TVET and compared to basic, to me personally, is non-issue. Because I understand that we are all under public service and administration and we are ranked according to different scales. Because you must be paid according to your job description, not be paid because of my qualification. Some of lecturers have got good qualification, sit with honors, masters and doctorate. But how will we afford that? Paying a person at the doctoral level who's qualified to be at the university, or master's degree to qualify to be at the universities. But to me, my understanding is that we all belong to the public service administration. Equal pay, equal job. That's what we are calling for.
Another issue, as you were talking, is the issue of SADTU helping you as labor and also helping you with a political perspective. Some people, when they criticize unions, some say unions are there to push politics and all. In your view, how crucial is it for one helped or assisted politically and labor-wise? Because some people feel that labor should not mix with politics.
I think people need to understand the concept, what is politics? Because politics does not mean ANC. That's not politics. Politics means who gets what, with whom, with who, when, where, how. So every environment has got its own politics. There is the environmental politics, there is the religious politics, there is the family politics. Department of Higher Education and Training is part of government. We've got the ministry. So the policies that are passed in government will also affect us. And we as the teacher formation on the ground, or teachers or lecturers or educators, now we understand that SADTU is also participating on the education in Africa. SADTU is also participating in education in the world. We see through our reports where our National General Secretary is participating. So we are able to understand what is happening in the outside world, how the West, how the East affects our education system. Now we talk about decolonizing. How were we colonized? We were colonized outside the teaching, but we were colonized mentally. We adopted the Western type of education, which was part of politics. And today we talk about decolonizing. What are we decolonizing? We're decolonizing what the West has taught us. And now we want to Africanize our education so that it serves us better. Today, we, as South Africa, we're sitting on a triple challenge of inequality. We are having a problem of unemployment. We have got the problem of poverty. But this education is not working for us. Number of graduates with that education that are unemployed. So now we as the teacher formation, we need to get direction. who guides our ideology? Because politics is all about ideology.
So you feel SADTU is on the right path?
SADTU is correctly placed. We can't get rid of SADTU out of education. Our own children need to be taught a right education that will work for them, that will be able to address the economic challenges, that will address the issue of inequality, that will work the issue of the unemployment. So SADTU is correctly placed.
What is it that you'd like to see SADTU doing exactly when you talk of servicing members?
Servicing members, one, it speaks to issue of capturing their membership. It takes time. People apply and apply, but their membership is not captured. As a result, they are only sign-up members, but they are not fully fledged members. And as a result, a person who is not seeing any deduction on his payslip, he said, no, I'm a SADTU member, but I'm not in good state. And I cannot sit in certain sectors or represent SADTU in other level of responsibility. That's number one. Also, the issue of issues that we are raising on the ground, it takes time to be responded to at our administrators. So then it's a long route for us to submit issues. For example, you take it to the branch has to take to the region. Region is then to cascade the information to administrators. We also want to see ourselves sitting in the BEC, sitting in the REC, so that we cascade our issues. I think that pillar number one, that's where now we want to see it happen. If SADTU can assist us on that, we'll make a better inroad. And more members will understand what SADTU is.
Do you feel the union is capacitating members or leaders enough so that they can be of better service to the general membership?
The past years, I haven't seen much of this capacity services to members. And where the site committees are inducted by their BECs, it's hardly been done. And people, they just be there as a site committee, they don't know their responsibilities. So there's no continuous induction of members of their roles and responsibilities. I think this can be a new route that SADTU can do. Ensure that members on the site committees and also on the sites, a visit to sites will also help a great deal, that people will understand their role as in SADTU. And also as a member, I must be able to understand what SADTU is. Some people, they just understand SADTU as a teacher formation, but they don't understand the ideology behind what SADTU is. So I think that political education needs to be conducted where workshops can be conducted. So I think induction of all members is very key. And I've seen on the recent numbers, if we are sitting now at almost 260,000 members, we can still service those people. We have SADTU is well equipped with resources. And I like what I see now today, the media team. This is one of the areas that we can use to reach all our members.
SADTU will be celebrating its 32nd anniversary. What you, as a member of SADTU, as a member of SADTU in the TVET sector, what message would you want to say to SADTU on her birthday?
I will say to SADTU, TVET colleges are newly born sector. We need to be groomed and nurtured so that we'll be able to participate actively on the education matters and be more productive to our society. So I think SADTU need to be more visible at the TVET sector. The service that they are rendering in basic education, we see it stand alone. But in the TVET colleges, we want to see SADTU rendering effective service. The pillar number one of SADTU, it talks about servicing the member. Let SADTU come down to the TVET colleges and ensure that we are visible. And we must understand that this is a political terrain. It's very contested.
Happy birthday, SADTU, happy birthday. Long live SADTU, long live. Long live the workers, long live. Amandla.
you.